Thank you, Tom. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. It is July 1st, often a day of consternation for Sabres fans, but not today, I think. 6 signings, including a trade, 6 moves, 4 hours. Who are these guys?
What's doubly weird about it is that it's not really a year. I don't want to say a lot of fans, but I think maybe my sense is that a lot of fans didn't exactly need them to do a lot in free agency because we're sort of braced for, the year to be a lot like last year from a wins and losses standpoint. So it's not like I was dying to see them get a lot of stuff done, but veteran leader, check. Veteran leader on the blue line, check. Extra defenseman, check. Like they're just knocking stuff off as they go here. And to have it all happen this quickly, Paul makes a good point. There is a week-long period where agents and teams can talk and feel each other out and get an idea of where interest lies and that kind of stuff, and that facilitates this stuff maybe moving more quickly than it has in other years. But still, I'm blown away with what they've accomplished already today.
We'll get a call in, but we may have to switch to Tim Murray at any moment here once he starts. Joe, go ahead. Hi.
Hey, guys. Real quick, I just wanted to say I'm good with what they did today. I'm just only a little concerned about their lack of physicality and size because we've got a lot of real small players, and I would just hate to see them get pushed around again. So I'd like to hear your response. Thanks.
Foligno, Girgensons, Stewart as a forward line is maybe the biggest, toughest forward line they've had ever. I'm all right here. I'm not worried about it.
Well, it's back to the overall. I'm not analyzing this team like it's a playoff contender or anything. So if they're size deficient, what about it? Where are they not deficient? Are they goals deficient? Maybe. Are they size deficient? Maybe. Are they maybe not great on defense and in goal? Okay.
They're probably going to be win deficient.
Yes, we do know where they were before, right? What this is all about, I think. So, yeah, maybe they are, but it's just, for me, it's not worth much to care. Who did they sign today that is a part of the future? Georges, I think, is. Molson is. Meszaros is not. That happened, too, reportedly. We don't have that official yet, Meszaros, but that's not a future move. Gianta isn't. Gianta is sort of player coach, I think. And McCormick isn't. So they have 2 acquisitions today that are guys I think that they want here when the team is good. Molson and Georges. And I'm okay there. I didn't need them to get bigger today. It's not a team that's a year away.
Yeah, I stand by what I said. Foligno, Girgensons, Stewart might be the biggest forward line they've iced in a long time, and plenty physical, plenty tough. So I don't even think they're really deficient at all in that area. But I think the large picture is even if they were, who cares? is really where you end up. And I get that.
We'll see if Stewart makes it to opening night. He's somebody other teams could want. Hodgson is somebody other teams could want. Myers is somebody other teams could want. They are long now up front and in the back. I think they're a little long in both areas. So maybe there will be a move or two yet to happen. They don't need to take on salary, and they're still not so in the clear that if they made a move like that, they wouldn't have to address money, perhaps. They might. But I just think they're a little deep suddenly. NHL experienced players wise anyway. They were a little deep.
Yeah, they, especially I think more so up front, although Meszaros gives you now 4 experienced NHL defensemen up front. Weber, Georges, and Myers. But the forward ranks, you could easily move someone out of there and make room for a kid and be fine. And obviously, to me, Ennis is not a candidate to be moved. I think Murray and Nolan both like him a lot. I think they're going to sign him to a contract comparable, if not richer, than the one that Hodgson got last spring or last summer. So Molson and Gianta just got here. Who are the candidates to move? Foligno just re-signed. Girgensons is a stalwart. He's not going anywhere. It's Hodgson, it's Stafford, it's Stewart. those three guys, I think, are what you look at if you want to, move a veteran NHL forward off of your team. And my pick there would be Hodgson, only because moving forward, I think I could still use to spin Stafford at the trade deadline next spring if I want to. Stewart, I'm intrigued enough by to want to see more of him. And Hodgson, I'm hoping the Sabres are good enough at forward eventually when they're going to be a good team that Hodgson won't have a spot there.
What a makeover, though, eh? The Sabres were backstage. They showed pictures of them on Maury to the audience. Look, this person really needs a new look. The clothes are baggy. The hair is totally out of style. I mean, the accessories are all wrong. This really is a tough one. This is a tough job. Let's see. We put our team of experts on Mary back here, and we'll see what we can do. And now it's a new look. Here's Tim Murray.
Which I never understood, but anyway. I said earlier, whenever I said it, it's easy to spend money.
You talked about how many.
You guys just didn't have faith that Buffalo was a destination. That's all. Anyway.
That actually, take us through that, and what was it about some of these? Gionta obviously makes sense, but what about some of the others?
I think they all make sense.
I mean, that makes sense to us. Gionta's from the region. Mm-hmm. What was it that these other guys were buying into?
Well, you'll have to ask them, obviously. I'm not sure about that. I talked to Matt Molson. Thrilled to be able to come back. Enjoyed his time here. We were his first choice. Happy that we reached out to him. And he had choices, and this was a place he wanted to be. Cody McCormick, same thing. He was here before, got traded away. Felt that he was treated fairly here in the past. And his agent told me that he knew that they had other choices with him, and he made the one call here, and we got it done. And he didn't shop around, is what he told me. Mesereau signed a one-year deal. I explained to him that I think he should come here and become the player he once was, the player that I used to know. And only two things can happen. We could decide to go forward with him, or he gets moved to a contender at the deadline, and that's a positive also.
Tim, in Molson's case, he's at the age now, and the way he plays the game, when you do get good, he's still going to be a viable goal scorer for you, isn't he?
That's what we hope, yeah. So if he starts as a first-line left winger now and he ends up being a second-line left winger, that's all good stuff for me still. And I think we're a better team today. I think that we can provide him with good line mates and allow him to do what he does, and that's score.
How much further, you talked about that, you just want this team to be more competitive next season, and then, what happens after next offseason, then you'll see. But how much further ahead might you be in reshaping this team into being more competitive at this point after what's gone on these past 3 days?
Well, we're more competitive. We've got a lot of character now. We have leadership now. That's important to me. When you're adding young players every year, there's a short term and a long term, and the long term is that your young players get better. Your young players become pros. They're not just good players; they're good NHL players. And I think that this group of people that we've added today can help in that regard.
Leadership part, that's where Gionta has come into that, correct?
And Matt Molson and Cody McCormick, big time. I think that they're all good people. I think they work hard on and off the ice, and I think that when you some people lead by example, some people lead in a more raw style. So I think we have a bit of both.
Gionta check all the boxes. Yesterday when we talked, you talked about some guys might want to come for families. Some guys might want to come for comfort. Some guys might want to come because they're trying to get the last couple of years out of their career. He seems to fit all of them.
For me, he does. He's the captain. He He's the ex-captain of the Montreal Canadiens. Yesterday, he was the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. A storied franchise, a playoff team. That wasn't a token title. That was real. There is stuff in this game that's real and stuff that's not real, and that's real stuff. That's legendary stuff, and he's now a Buffalo Sabre.
Will he be captain of the Buffalo Sabres?
I have no idea. I might think about that tonight, but no, I haven't thought about that yet.
When you look at the whole,
He's definitely going to be part of our leadership group. And one guy wears the C, and you're going to have 4 or 5 guys that are part of the leadership group that meet with your coaching staff every day. We know he's going to be part of that.
when you look at the total landscape, if you're looking for a player that you can attach Reinhart to, players that were available today, is there a better one, do you think, than Gionta that you could have just, you know?
There could be, but he's at the top of the list. How big is he? You know, he's not a very big guy, and he's carved out a great NHL career against all odds. So there's something obviously intangible that you can't measure with a yardstick, with analytics, with anything like that. And, you know, he has it in spades.
When did you know Josh was available to you?
This afternoon. Yeah.
So you approached the Canadiens when he was still on the no trade list? Buffalo was still on that list?
No, they approached me. Yeah, they approached me and said that he turned down a couple teams, and he added us to his list of teams that he'd go to. I don't know if it was after we started doing things exactly, or the timeline. Maybe he had a conversation with Gionta. I don't know. But I got a call saying that, are you interested? And I said, yes, but what's the point of being interested? He's got a no trade. And they said that he had added us to the teams that he'd go to. So it happened very quickly after I found that out. To me, that speaks volumes. So you can talk and talk and talk all you want. Actions speak louder than words. And for him to do that, that meant to me, I didn't call him and ask him any questions about coming here. He put us on his list of teams that he'd go to, and that told me everything.
What do you have in him?
What do I have in him?
What kind of defenseman is he? What do you expect him to be?
He's heart and soul. He plays to the most of his ability and the most of an effort level every shift. He blocks shots. He's a type of player that can wear a letter. He's definitely part of the leadership group. He brings a lot of intangibles.
You were curious to see how legit the interest was going to be after all these calls. As it started proving to be legit, I mean, how excited or surprised or whatever emotions you had.
Excited. We're trying to rebuild an organization into a top organization, and today shows that we finished 30th place, and there are still good players that I should take that call, but that shows that there are quality players that want to come here, and I've said that. I've thought that all along, but you know, you're never sure until the clock hits 12, and there were more, you know, than what we got done. I mean, it wasn't just these guys that want to come here. There were other choices. There still are, but these were the guys that we thought that we should go forward quickly with for what we wanted to achieve, and it happened in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So.
You called the weekend outstanding. Obviously, another outstanding day in your opinion.
For the organization, it is, for sure. I think it is. I think our kids are sitting at home going, wow, you know, they know these players. They watched the National Hockey League, and they know the quality of the player. They know the quality of the person. They know the character. As excited as they are to get drafted by Buffalo in the last couple of years, you know, they know it's a team that is not there. We can say it's a team on the rise. People have to see that. I just think that there's some kids at home going, this is great.
What
What's next now? Is there a store? You still have moves in store for the?
I don't know. Well, I know, but no, I'm not going to tell you.
How has the move changed from April 16th or whatever to today in a span of, what is it, 2.5 months?
Mine hasn't changed. I've been optimistic that we can get things done at the draft today in trades. I've said all along, like you draft well to trade well, and then use free agency to put you over the top. Over the top is different things to different teams. Our over the top is to get better and to play the game right and to act right. And I think today helps us do that.
But this team, in some ways, this franchise, in some ways, was a bit of a punchline coming out of it.
It wasn't by me.
No, fair enough. But outside Buffalo, and maybe even, but it doesn't seem that way any longer, at least.
Well, it's not going to be. I know that. So people can get on the bandwagon early or get on late. It really doesn't matter. But if you want to be more right than you are wrong, I would just say, without sounding, I don't want to sound cocky, get on a little earlier than you might have thought, because, I mean, this is serious stuff, and we take the job seriously, and we prepare seriously, and I'm a little bit demanding to our guys, but there's a reason for that, and that's so you can have a good draft. That's so you can have a day like today. And it's an organizational thing. And it comes right from the top above me. And everybody has to be on board. Everybody has to have the same mindset, and everybody has to have the same goals. And I think we are in sync that way. There's no suggestion that instead of Gianta, we should have got this guy. Instead of making the Georges trade, we should have got that guy. Everybody's on board. Everybody knows what we feel is the right direction, and it makes your job easier.
When we were talking about the changes to the draft lottery the other day, you talked about, we still expect to be near the bottom. With these changes, how far away from the bottom?
Well, we have to get a lot better to get away from the bottom. And does this do it? I don't know. This changes the mindset is what it changes. I still don't consider us a contending team by any means. So now the players may think differently, and that's good, but we have a lot of work to do, and today was one day.
How the young team finished at the end of last season? You feel that the leadership roles are all filled in now with these signings?
I think we have a lot of leadership, yes. I think we have. Are you asking, do we have enough leadership? For sure we do. I don't think that there's any question about that. We have a group of guys that have been different types of leaders in different places, so now it's time to come to this situation and figure out how to make it work here.
Without going into camp yet, obviously, does having a little bit more leadership or a lot more leadership here make it easier for you to make a decision on Reinhart, knowing that he's going to be around players who are going to conduct themselves in the right fashion versus the alternative?
It's going to make it easier for him, for sure. It's going to allow him to play his game a little more. It's going to allow him to not look over his shoulder so often. I think it gives him a comfort level that if he does come into camp prepared, that he's got people around him that can help him. And if he makes the team and he plays great out of the gate and all that, we know he's going to hit rough patches. We know he's going to hit speed bumps, and that's what these guys are here for. Besides playing, they're here to help our young guys get over those rough patches, and we're going to have them.
McCormick will always defend a teammate. We know that. If that situation arises, he does that. But he can also play the game. He can kill penalties. He scores the odd goal. Is the day of the fighter that's just a fighter, is that over with? I mean, do you have to get a guy to fill that role that can also play the game?
I'd have to look at everybody else's roster to see what's out there, but I know that there are guys that are considered just fighters that are still looking for jobs today. I hope they find them, but you have to be able to play four lines. And if you're going to be a competitive team and you're going to be a top team, you have to play 4 lines. You watch LA play 4 lines. You watch Boston's 4th line the last 6-7 years is considered one of the best 4th lines in the game. You have to play 4th line, so you have to have guys on your 4th line that can play the game.
Do you view Josh Georges as being the role model for all the young guys coming up on the line?
He'll be one of them, yeah. Yeah, his work ethic, he cares so much. We played against Montreal when I was with Ottawa in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and you just have to sit through a series and watch it. And his care level is way up here, and I like that.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Tim Murray with a lot of detail on some of his new signings, or all of them. Might there be more moves to come? He said, I don't know. Well, I know. I'm not going to tell you. So there's a chance. We both think they're a little bit long, forwards and defense. I'm not sure you've said on both, but especially forwards. We've talked about that.
Yeah, it depends on what their plans are for Ristolainen, maybe specifically for me to think they'd be long on defense. But forwards, they've got plenty of bodies. I see that. That's how I see it.
We'll break this all down between now and 7 o'clock. You've got a team that finished last in the league by a lot, rebuilding. You want young guys in there. They made less room for some of those young guys by what they've done today. And maybe they're not done. They could go the other way with moves, too. We'll see. 803-0550 is our number. We'll talk about a lot of this, of course, throughout the afternoon. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here on WGR.